What is going on, everybody? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody is doing well. And welcome, guys, to the weekly headliner update, week number 41. Now, if you're new to the weekly headliner, this is where we discuss what is upcoming this week of Marvel Strike Force, and then we recap the important topics from the previous week as well. Now, this week we got a lot to cover here. Silver Samurai was released this past Friday. People were able to open up their Red Star orbs for their character. We also have the event campaign coming up for him this week, so we're going to talk about that really quickly here. We saw the changes for Heroes for Hire. That definitely sparked a lot of questions and conversations here. And I'm asking the question myself, should there be compensation for these new changes with Heroes for Hire, which does change a little bit of how effective they are in war, even though they're still pretty damn dominant, if you ask me. And then, of course, we had the updated blog post this past Friday, but it seems as if though there was some very important information that was missing from that blog post. But we're going to talk about this, guys, and so much more to cover on the weekly headliner update. And we're going to start right now. All right, welcome back, guys. And if it's your first time coming to the channel and you would like to see some more Marvel Strike Force content, consider hitting that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so that you will know when my videos do go live. And then down below in the description, there's a few links that are there. One, where you can join my Discord. You can also follow me on Twitch, where I do stream Marvel Strike Force content on a weekly basis. And there's also my Twitter, my Facebook page, my Facebook link that's there as well, where I do post updates throughout the week. And then also my Patreon link. That's another way for you to support the channel by becoming a Patreon. And then also Amazon coins. This is for you now. If you're looking to save some money here on your Marvel Strike Force in-game purchases, then Amazon coins is the right way for you. Opportunity here for you to save up to 20% off your mobile in-game purchases. But let's dive, guys, into the topics for this week. The first one is going to be the character blitzes. And they're so very important. Well, probably only one of them, right? So these are the characters that you're going to be blitzing for this week. We got Miles and we got White Tiger over here. Now, obviously, White Tiger probably the more important character. She's a better character, I should say. For Spider-Man Miles, a lot of us are going to be milestone and chilling, or we'll probably do like 3 rotations because they contribute right to RTA. But for the most part, we're not going to be going too crazy on this blitz. White Tiger is probably going to be a little bit more important. If you're probably don't have enough Blitz orbs to open up or enough credits to open up Blitz orbs, and it's an opportunity for you to land some shards here. Also, she's pretty good. I mean, Shadowland, they're amazing in war right now. Phenomenal war offense team, and I think for some earlier players too, that they present a good, decent option for some of the content that you get to once you get to level 70. So I do think Shadowland is pretty good, and White Tiger's on that team. So in terms of numbers here, looking at this is the predictions that we had for Yo-Yo, and then we'll talk about what the actual numbers were. So 1 to 100 cutoff, they predicted at 49.8 million, 27.1 for top 1%, 2 to 3 was 18.6, 4 to 10 was 8.8. So when we look at the actual in game, now we're only going to be able to see the 1 to 100 cutoff. That's all we're going to be able to see. But when we looked at Yo-Yo and we looked at the top 100 ranking, it was 45 million. 45 million was the cutoff. So they were 4 million off, but it wasn't that crazy. You rather it be 4 million less than 4 million more, right? That's the big deal. So 4 million, 45 million here. I'm thinking it's probably going to be the same for probably White Tiger. Probably would be less. I wouldn't be surprised if it's honestly less for Miles as well, because a lot of people already have it maxed out. So these are the numbers here that you have for these characters. Figure out where you need to get to, and of course, happy blitzing. All right, and yeah, we do have a legendary event that's thrown around this week, and it is for Magneto. And I know some of you will say, who cares about Magneto? Well, a lot of players do. A lot of players are looking forward to unlocking Magneto, and to those who are unlocking Magneto, congratulations. That's all I got to say to you. Listen, Magneto and the Brotherhood team, they're not terrible. BH 2.0 is actually a pretty decent war team. I see them a lot on war defense now with Doom, and trust me, it's a kind of a challenging team. Yes, there are counters, but still pretty challenging team here. So for those who are going to be unlocking Magneto, congratulations, and know that they are still currently being used in the end game right now. So they're not great, but they're a decent option if you do like the team here. Now, to help out with unlocking Magneto, there are there's an event going on right now active where you get double drops for the characters that you need to unlock Magneto. So those can be either X-Men or Brotherhood characters, or a combination of both here. So these are for the characters that are in campaigns. Now keep in mind, this says 22 hours because I'm recording this the night before. Don't go by this time. Look at what your time says, so make sure that you don't miss out on these shards here. But yes, double drop event going on for Magneto right now. This event is going to be going on this week, sometime tonight, I believe. So congratulations to those who are unlocking Magneto, or those who are upgrading Magneto. Congratulations to you as well. And then later on this week, got a couple other things going on. So Chaos Theory, which is a flash event. This is a flash event where you're going to get your promotion credits. That's going to be rolling back around on Friday. There's also going to be a double drop. So you need Wakandan characters, and there's going to be a double drop event at some point in time throughout the week for the characters that you can get from campaigns for the Wakandan characters as well. If you are new to this event, keep in mind that you only, for the first 4 tiers, you only need 4 Wakandan characters. So once you do get to tier 5, you do need 5 Wakandan characters. So just keep that in mind moving forward here. But promotion credits, they're kind of scarce right now for me. I'm curious to see what you guys are going to be doing. What are you guys going to be doing with your promotion credits? Who are you going to be upgrading? I know personally myself, I'm probably going to save them, man. I'm going to save them because I don't know what's going to happen with Weapon X. They seem like a very important team, right? I'm probably going to want to get some good red stars on them. I got lucky with Silver Samurai. You got to call it luck in this game. I got lucky with Silver Samurai, got 5 reds on them. Don't know what's going to happen with Lady Deathstrike. Don't know what's going to happen with Omega Red. So I'm probably going to want to save them, see what happens there. And then later on, maybe I'll consider characters like Cloak because that team, those 2 characters are good, but they're kind of squishy in these Doom raids right now. But either way, make sure that you tackle this event here, prepare for it, get ready for the double drop for the Wakandan characters. Speaking of Cloak, Strike Pass is ending for, I'm going to call it the Cloak Strike Pass. I know it's the Luminous, whatever. Call it what you want, man. But I basically call the Strike Pass the Cloak Strike Pass because this is the one that has the Cloak shards in it. This is going to be ending on Tuesday night, and the new Strike Pass that's going to be, I'm going to call that one the Dagger Strike Pass, is going to be starting on Tuesday night. And it's basically, well, actually think about this too. Make sure that you save your claims. So don't claim your daily objective stuff. Wait until that Tuesday night so that you can at least, if you're maxed out right now or you're going to max out in a day from now or so, just make sure that you don't claim stuff until that Tuesday night, so that you can kind of get yourself a little bit of a head start. They usually send out some in-game tokens for that too. So you might be fine, but just keep it in mind as you move forward here. But yeah, that's going to be going on this week. So prepare yourself for that. Hopefully you'll be able to get some good shards here. I know this is really kind of a crappy release for characters, but hopefully you were able to fare okay or decently well in the Blitz to also get you some shards that we can at least unlock the characters here. But that's going to be happening this week. And another additional thing that you should pay attention to this week here is also Silver Samurai. So Silver Samurai, we got offers for him this Friday. So technically say that he was released this past Friday, right? So yeah, we had some offers for him. He was also featured in the Red Star Orbs, and players are pulling these Red Star Orbs, and this is actually one of the things that popped up. So I don't know, there's some crazy bug was going on. People were getting gold drops and were feeling good about life until they saw that the gold drops were at was only 2 red. So they did address this. I think the developers did address this here on Friday and talked about how this was just a visual bug. This wasn't an actual, there was no manipulations here. It wasn't affecting your actual drop rate. This was just a visual bug. Either way, I'm pretty sure that some players are pretty pissed off that they saw the gold drop and they saw it too. I'm laughing. It's not funny. It really isn't, but I'm laughing because I'm just like, it's yeah. Oh man. So yeah, this happened. We got his offers on Friday. We were able to unlock him here. I got him up to like level 60 gear tier 10. Bought the $25 offer for him. So gonna probably be leveling up a little bit more as I get more stars for him here. He does have an event campaign that's rolling around this Friday, which is called Curse of Marasma. Somebody made a joke and called it Curse of Miasma because right now, seriously, miasma, whichever one you want to call it. There is a massive shortage of that hero unique right now, but this is going to start on Friday as well. This event campaign for him, and you're going to need characters that have the honorable trait. So if you filter out your roster right now, you can actually see the characters that you're going to have the honorable trait, and some of them are actually pretty good. I think, I mean, there are a lot of them are more recent characters, right? That are good ones. Secret Avengers, you have New Warriors, Heroes for Hire, Shang-Chi, Iron Fist, Moon Knight's there. And there's some, X-23's are a bad character as well. Wolverine, of course, is also a part of the event. Then you have some characters that aren't that great. Silver Samurai. If you have Silver Samurai, you can also use them for this event as well. So some pretty good characters that are there so far. And my kind of take on Silver Samurai is that he's a good character. I think he's actually going to be pretty phenomenal on the Weapon X team. The barrier, the fact that he can taunt, that he gets 3 counters, similar right to Captain Sam. I think Skirmisher is probably going to be the best ISO in Silver Samurai just because of those counters, because of also the assists. You're going to be able to land those vulnerables out there. You could potentially get the triple tap depending on how you want to use your ISOs on that Weapon X team. So I'm looking forward to this. I was able to bring him into RTA level 60, gear tier 10. And with his ultimate, I was actually able to stun Bishop, who was gear tier 4, stun a Bishop, who was gear tier 14. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if that's really repeatable. It happened twice because people kept on throwing Bishop into RTA. So it happened twice, but I don't know. I don't know if it's his focus level I guess it's pretty good for him to be able to do that here, or maybe the resistance on Bishop is just not that great. I don't know. Either one of them. It happened. It was a thing. I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe this. So Silver Samurai looks pretty good here. Hoping, like I said, once the full team comes together that he can really shine there. But either way, prepare yourself for the event campaign. It's going to be happening this Friday here. It should be a good one. All right, so we're going to talk about some stuff that happened last week here. The first thing we got to touch base on, man, is actually Facebook. So last week on Monday, Facebook had an outage here, which actually affected a lot of Marvel Strike Force players. And players were not able to log into their accounts. Players were not able to get to do any sort of game content here. And of course, that created some frustration. But to me, the way that I took this was, it's weird. I know it is. But I took it as something happened to their game that wasn't their fault. And wow, that feels different, doesn't it? No, seriously, think about it. It feels rather different. But moving on from that, guys, I know some of you guys were affected by it as well, because I saw some of the comments in the video that some of you guys were affected by it too. But I just thought my interesting take that for one, something happened in Marvel Strike Force that wasn't Scopely's fault. But let's move on. There were some other important things that happened throughout the week here. And actually this one came on the 6th. That was actually 2 days after it happened. So there was some bugs that were going on from the patch, and there were some things that needed to change. Number one, they needed to fix Phoenix. Phoenix wasn't summoning to Dark Phoenix whenever she died. Some players reported that this was happening to them. Actually, a lot of players reported this was happening to them as well. Deathpool had a issue with her ultimate ability where she was dealing low damage. So there was something funky happening with this, but now they said that they fixed this information here with Deathpool and how her ultimate works. And then updated art for Silver Samurai's character model. We saw that in game. We saw that on Friday. Android crashes, the Alliance War stuff. But more importantly, what was really the big one is Misty Knight and the rest of the Heroes for Hire team. So if you haven't seen this already, which I'm sure you've seen it already, but I'm still reading it anyways. The text stating 5% dodge plus 5% dodge per Heroes for Hire allies was never functioning, which is extremely interesting because I honestly, I didn't remember that she did this. I honestly did not remember that she did this. So the fact that this was never functioning was just, I was like, dude, I didn't even remember that this is something that she was supposed to do in her kit. Oh man, which would have made them even more insane to beat, right? The Heroes for Hire team has already exhibited exceptional survivability in Alliance War, and adding a chance to dodge on top of that isn't needed. Going forward, Misty Knight's passive ability will instead feature an increase to max health, gain 5% health. So a lot of people are saying, well, technically, is this even a nerf? It's not a nerf, right? Because it's actually a buff because it was never working before, but now it's working. Now she's doing something. So actually, technically, it's a buff. It's really a nerf because she was supposed to be working this way. What you would have expected a developer to do is to fix this so that this actually works properly. So instead, what they did is that they removed the chance for her to do it at all, and then use the max health as a replacement. So technically, it is a nerf, right? And then additionally, all Heroes for Hire passive abilities, the passive ability text section for all Heroes for Hire characters has been updated to clarify how their charge mechanic functions. At the start of any war, if this character is on defense and has 3 or more Heroes for Hire allies, gain 2 charge on spawn of their initial match. The action occurs only once per war. So this is actually interesting, right? Because when you facing Heroes for Hire is already challenging enough, but I do realize that there were some Heroes for Hire teams that you would beat where they would lose their charges, and then when you went back in, they would gain their full charges again. Now, I think the problem and the reason why they were getting those charges is if you didn't kill Misty Knight and you went back in with Misty Knight. Now, Misty Knight's supposed to replenish their energy back up, but she was also somehow resetting their charges as well. But if you ever killed Misty Knight and went back in and you took off some charges, the charges that you took off would remain off. So that was kind of what was going on here with the team. And I guess they're just kind of clarifying it now that this is how it's going to work. And this leads me to the question, do we think that there should be compensation for this? No, seriously, like for players who invested a lot of money into this team, the fact that they're not, it seems as if though they kind of just like willy-nilly mention this stuff, right? Like kind of like, don't get me wrong, Heroes for Hire, it doesn't matter anyways. I made a video talking about this. They're still a beast. It's still hard for you to beat them. They're still unfun in war, in my opinion. It's just because of the way that the meta has leaped. It's just an unfun thing to experience in war. And the fact that there are 2 teams that are legendary teams that are the really most reliable counters, that's really kind of my issue with this team. If this was a legendary team that functioned this way on defense, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. But because it wasn't a legendary team and you need 2 legendary teams to beat it, that's kind of been my initial issue with this whole team for the most part here. But the point is, should there be some compensation for this year? I don't know. I honestly really don't know the answer to that question. I just know, though, that for players who probably invested really heavily into this, that they probably don't really feel good about these changes that are currently happening right now. But there were some other text changes that were also caught in functionality of a character that was also mentioned as well this week. So this came out the next day after that, and this was about Omega Red and Silver Samurai. Today, there will be 2 updates to the ability text for 2 Weapon X characters. So not how they were functioning already, but just the text. Omega Red, his basic ability, Carbonadium Lash, will now state that the healing cap is 25% to match the function. So this was actually something that was caught by Tana, who was reading kind of, I think, the JSON files here, and saw the information that this is actually the healing cap on this is actually 25%. And I think previously before it was, what was it, 10% or something like that? It wasn't the right percentage, and saw that. So it's good to catch that. It looked weird in the video. So we did the Envoy vids, right? And it never looked right, but I couldn't pick up on it. I don't know how to read JSON files, right? So I didn't really understand it, and I couldn't really pinpoint it. But it's good that this information was caught before the character actually gets released in the game, which really, for me, emphasizes the point of, I think, for the most part, players, envoys probably should be able to have an opportunity here to kind of test out characters and stuff like that before their release, just to make sure that they're actually working properly. There are players who probably, envoys who are probably willing to or have the time to do it, that probably could really benefit the game if they only utilize that resource. Additionally, they also talk about Silver Samurai, his special ability, Executioner Slice, so that it would flip counter on only the primary target. The ability text is being updated to reflect the actual function of flipping counter on the primary and adjacent targets as well. And a quick developers note, they mentioned when these characters are tested internally, they are put to the test with how they function, and they are put to the test with the how they function, and thus is why the ability text is changed and not the other way around. I didn't really understand exactly what that meant. Looks like a little bit of a typo there, but guess what they're saying is that when they put these characters to the text, that it kind of basically sounds like they sim it, and if it works the way they intend for it to work, then they just leave it alone and then move on from there. But either way, I'm glad that this was clarified before the character kind of sort of got released into the game. I think that that's actually a very important thing, that they're doing that and catching that before we have to catch the bug, even though technically Tana did catch the bug for them. Either way, let's move on to the last thing I want to talk about here, and it was overall the blog post. So we got blog post information. Silver Samurai saw his kit. They went over the backstory on Silver Samurai. We learned about the event campaign. We learned about the strike pass. They talked about the repeating legendary event with Magneto, the upcoming blitzes, the bonus, Magneto, all that stuff, Chaos Theory. You know what was missing? Where is Captain Sam and Sharon Carter going? That would have been a nice to know, right? Like, that would have been a nice to know information for you as a player. Here's my thing. I don't know why they hold that information so close to the vest. If I can farm it, here's the thing. You can say, hey, it's coming on XYZ date, which could be 3-4 weeks from now. I still can't farm it until 3-4 weeks from now, but at least I know that it's going there. I don't know. Stuff like this, man, I just don't think that they need to keep it that close to the vest. It's really not that big of a deal for them to let us know that information. I don't know why they did this, but I just went through the blog post, didn't see the information on anywhere where the other Secret Avenger characters are going. I know Maria Hill's in the War Store. I've seen her one time. Some players have seen her more, but I've literally seen her one time. One time throughout the entire process here. But like I said, I just don't know why they try to hide this information. It's really not that deep. You're going to throw a character in the arena orb. We know it already, and the character's going to go to a node. We know you, Scopely. Just do it. Just let us know where the character's going to go. But listen, I'm going to end it here, guys. Not really much else to talk about here in this video. Probably some of the stuff that we'll touch base on a little bit towards the end of the week here. But what are your thoughts on some of the topics here that we discussed? Really want to know, do you think that there should be compensation for heroes for hire? The impact is definitely there, because I do think that they are, I guess, easier to counter now, but still very, very challenging team anyways. You still got to get the charges off of them anyways, right? You still got to be able to work them down and get the charges off of them, which in some situations may not be as easy depending on what sort of punch down you're doing. But appreciate you guys watching the video. Thank you guys so much for hanging around. More videos to come this week. You guys be blessed, and y'all be safe. Oh man, I am parched. Good God. Talking for 20 plus minutes. Jesus.